There are moments in life when we do everything we know to do, pray fast, believe, and even worship in the silence, yet nothing seems to shift. The door we have been knocking on stays firmly shut. The prayer we whisper night after night still feels unanswered. The silence from heaven can seem louder than any promise we once held in our hearts. It is in these seasons that discouragement creeps in, whispering lies that maybe God has forgotten us, maybe we missed His will, or worse, maybe He said no. But here's the truth that steadies the soul. God's delay is never His denial. What feels like a pause is often God's process. It is not punishment, it is preparation. He is aligning the right people, shaping the right opportunities, and molding the right version of us to step into what He has already promised. A premature blessing can crush us, but a timely one will carry us into purpose. Think about a seed planted deep in the soil. For weeks, it looks like nothing is happening. The surface is still the ground unshaken, yet underground there is growth roots stretching, foundations being built. Only in the right season does the sprout break through. In the same way, your waiting season may appear empty, but heaven is working beneath the surface. God is not ignoring your prayers. He is orchestrating something bigger than what you can see. Delay is the sacred space where faith is refined. Character is strengthened and trust is deepened. It is the pause before the breakthrough, the silence before the song. Don't mistake His timing for abandonment. What feels late to you is perfectly on time to Him. So take heart, your waiting is not wasted. It is the soil where your miracle is quietly growing. If you've ever wondered why you stumbled upon a certain message, a verse, or even this very moment, let me assure you, it isn't random. God's hand is far more intentional than we often realize. Out of millions of voices online, countless distractions and endless choices of where you could have turned, He brought you here. That's not coincidence. That's providence. Sometimes we treat seasons of waiting as if they are detours, as though we've somehow fallen off the right path. But heaven doesn't work with accidents. The same God who numbers the hairs on your head and knows the exact beats of your heart is not careless with your steps. Every encounter, every message, every divine whisper is part of His orchestration to remind you that you are seen, known, and loved. Right now, you may feel hidden or overlooked. Maybe you've been waiting so long that your hope feels thin. Yet, in His kindness, God interrupts your scrolling or your searching with a word tailored for you. That interruption is heaven's invitation. It is God's way of saying, I see what you're carrying, and I don't want you to carry it alone. This moment is not by chance. It is a divine appointment. The fact that you're hearing these words is proof that God is reaching for you even in the silence. It's His way of steadying your heart, reminding you that your story is not forgotten. Where you see delay, He sees alignment. Where you see silence, He sees preparation. So don't dismiss the power of being here now. This isn't just another video, another prayer, or another message. It's God's whisper cutting through the noise to tell you I'm with you, hold on, I'm not done. One of the greatest challenges in our walk with God is remembering that His promises are tied to His calendar, not ours. Habakkuk 2:3 declares, "For the revelation awaits an appointed time. It speaks of the end and will not prove false. Though it linger, wait for it. It will certainly come and will not delay." These words remind us that every promise has a specific season. Just as fruit cannot ripen overnight, God's purposes unfold when the moment is perfectly prepared. We often treat delay as rejection. We pray and expect an immediate answer, and when nothing changes, we feel abandoned. But delay does not mean denial. It means God is still weaving the threads together. Think of a conductor leading a symphony. Each instrument enters at its precise time, not too early and not too late. If one note is played ahead of schedule, the harmony is broken. In the same way, God is orchestrating your life with perfect timing, and the music of His promise will not miss its cue. It may look like nothing is happening. You may feel as though your prayers have gone unnoticed. Yet the truth is this: the promise is alive and already in motion. Just because you cannot see its arrival does not mean it has stalled. Like a package in transit, heaven has scheduled delivery, and it will not arrive a moment too late. This is why trust matters so deeply. Faith is not just believing God for the outcome, it's believing Him in the waiting. The appointed time is still coming. The dream He planted in your heart has not expired. His word will not lie. What He spoke over your life is still in motion. So lift your eyes from the delay and fix them on the certainty of His promise. Heaven's timeline cannot be rushed, and it cannot be stopped. Your breakthrough is not forgotten. It is simply waiting for the moment God has ordained. If waiting is difficult, waiting with peace feels almost impossible. Our human instinct is to panic when prayers seem unanswered. We compare our lives to others, watching friends get promotions. Families expand, dreams unfold, and the quiet question rises, "Lord, what about me?" In those moments, fear whispers that maybe we've been overlooked or forgotten. But Romans 8:25 gives us a different lens. But if we hope for what we do not yet have, we wait for it patiently. This is not a call to passive resignation, but to active trust. To wait patiently is to rest in confidence, knowing that God's silence is not neglect, but strategy. It is choosing faith over fear, peace over panic, and trust over timelines. Real faith doesn't crumble when the answer is delayed. Instead, it learns to sit in the unknown with assurance that God is still moving behind the scenes. This kind of confident waiting is not denial of reality. It is devotion to a greater reality, that God's promises are unshakable, even when our circumstances are unstable. Confidence in waiting is not easy, but it is powerful. It steadies your heart when storms rage. It silences the lies of comparison when others seem to run ahead. And it reminds you that God's plan for your life is not threatened by someone else's breakthrough. His timing is tailor-made, not mass-produced. Think of it this way: a farmer doesn't doubt the harvest simply because the seed is hidden underground. He waits with expectation, trusting the process. In the same way, waiting with confidence means standing firm in the belief that what God started, He will finish. So when fear tries to tell you that delay means denial, let faith respond with confidence. If God has promised it, I will see it. Maybe not today, maybe not tomorrow, but in His perfect time. The silence of God can feel like the hardest test of all. When heaven seems quiet and prayers echo back unanswered, we begin to wonder if anything is happening at all. Yet James 1:3-4 reminds us, "For you know that the testing of your faith produces steadfastness. And let steadfastness have its full effect, that you may be perfect and complete, lacking in nothing." In other words, the waiting is not wasted. It is shaping something in you that nothing else could. Strength is not built in moments of comfort. Muscles only grow under resistance, and the same is true of faith. It is in the tension of unanswered prayers, in the weight of waiting, that spiritual endurance is born. Every disappointment, every delay, every silent season becomes training ground for maturity. God uses the wilderness of waiting to form a strength that comfort could never give. Think of it like roots pressing deeper into the soil. While the surface shows no progress underground, the tree is anchoring itself to withstand future storms. In the same way, God uses silence to deepen your roots in Him. He is preparing you not just to receive blessings, but to carry them with strength and stability. This kind of growth cannot be rushed. It requires time, patience, and trust. And though the process is uncomfortable, it is producing a resilience that will hold you steady when life's winds blow hard. The waiting seasons are where trust becomes unshakable, where character is refined, and where faith grows legs strong enough to walk into destiny. So if you feel weary under the weight of silence, remember this: you are not being punished. You are being prepared. The strength you are gaining now will carry you further than you ever imagined. Waiting is not breaking you, it is building you. When life feels messy, unfinished, or broken, it's easy to believe that beauty has slipped out of reach. Yet Ecclesiastes 3:11 declares He has made everything beautiful in its time. Notice it doesn't say in our time, but in its time. That small difference carries a world of meaning. It reminds us that God's clock is not bound by ours. What looks unfinished today is still in process, and what feels broken now is being woven into something breathtaking. Think of a tapestry viewed from the back. All you see are knots, frayed threads, and tangled colors that don't make sense. But flip it over, and suddenly every thread has purpose. Every line forms part of a larger picture. That's what God is doing in your life. From your side, the view looks chaotic. But from His side, beauty is emerging with precision. Your pain, your waiting, your tears, none of them are wasted. He gathers every fragment and works them into a design far greater than you imagined. You may only see the struggle, but God sees the story. What feels like delay is actually artistry. He is not rushing, he is weaving. And here's the hope: beauty doesn't always show up when we expect it, but it always arrives right on time. Healing blooms in its season. Breakthrough shines in its moment. Restoration comes when the soil of your heart is ready to receive it. So don't curse the soil when the seed is still hidden. Don't abandon faith when the threads look tangled. Trust the master artist. He knows what he is making of you, and it will be beautiful not just by chance, but by his perfect design. What feels incomplete today will one day make sense. The knots will align, the colors will blend, and the picture will reveal the beauty that was always there, waiting for its time. There's a quiet power in the promise of Isaiah 60:22. When the time is right, I, the Lord, will make it happen. These words settle the anxious heart because they remind us of a crucial truth. The weight of fulfillment does not rest on our shoulders, it rests on God's. We do not have to strive, force, or manipulate circumstances. When the appointed moment arrives, God Himself will open the door, and no one will be able to close it. So often we exhaust ourselves trying to make things happen. We push, pull, and stress over timelines, convinced that if we don't act fast enough, we'll miss our chance. But God's timing doesn't depend on our panic. His plan unfolds without pressure. The same God who created galaxies with a word is more than capable of aligning your breakthrough at the perfect moment. And when He moves, it is undeniable. The blessing arrives not as a fragile coincidence, but as a clear act of divine intervention. It carries His fingerprints. It doesn't require you to chase it down. It finds you. The miracle is marked by peace instead of striving, by clarity instead of confusion. This verse is also a gentle reminder that delay is not failure. The reason it hasn't happened yet is not because you're behind, it's because the stage isn't fully set. God knows the right season, the right people, and the right conditions to release what He has promised. So rest in this truth. You don't have to manipulate the outcome. You don't have to fear being left behind. When the time is right, the Lord Himself will make it happen. And when He does, you will know beyond a shadow of doubt, it wasn't luck, it wasn't chance, it was God. Waiting is rarely comfortable, but in God's hands, it becomes holy ground. The season you're in is not wasted. It is an altar where trust is deepened and devotion is purified. Waiting is not just about holding on until something happens. It is about discovering the presence of God in the meantime. It transforms delay into intimacy and silence into worship. Think about how worship changes the posture of the heart. Instead of focusing on what hasn't arrived, worship lifts your eyes to the One who holds time itself. When you worship in the waiting, you declare, "My faith is not built on outcomes, but on God's character." That kind of surrender turns waiting into a sacred act. Every moment of patient trust, every prayer whispered in the dark, every choice to keep believing. When hope feels thin, it's all worship. Heaven sees it and heaven honors it. This is where spiritual roots grow deep, where faith becomes steady, and where your heart is prepared for the blessings to come. So if you find yourself in a long season of silence, don't despise it. Lean into it. Let your waiting become worship, your uncertainty become trust, and your pause become preparation. God has not forgotten you. He is closer than you think, and His timing is never late. And now as we close, I want to invite you to take a step of faith. If this message has spoken to your heart, share it with someone who may also be in a season of waiting. Leave a comment below and declare what you are still trusting God for. It could be healing, restoration, guidance, or peace. And if you haven't already, subscribe to this channel so we can walk this journey together day by day. Your waiting is not empty, it is worship. Your story is still being written. And when the time is right, the Lord Himself will make it happen.